Welcome back, you beautiful weirdos. How are you guys doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I have something so fun to share with you. Today's sponsor is Mystic Moon Tips. Thank you so much to Mystic Moon for sponsoring this video and sending over some fun stuff for me to play with. But wait, she sent over some fun stuff for y'all to play with too. So whatever you see me take out of my bag for my mani, you guys will be getting the exact same thing. 2 winners if you'd like to be entered to win these amazing goodies. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, give this video a big thumbs up, and comment down below letting me know which of these colors is your favorite and what are you most excited to play with. Additionally, if you feel like hopping over to Mystic Moon Dips, I will leave all her info down in the box along with a discount code for 15% off. I am not an affiliate, it is just for you guys. She also has some new dip liquids we're going to play with, so we're going to check it all out, see how it goes, but I can't tell you how excited I am to share these neon pastels with you. Oh my god. So she just released a brand new collection. Last year she did her neon collection, and this year she decided to make her neon collection Pastel Neons. I'm going to put a picture in here of the full collection. She sent me over 4 of the neon pastels to try along with 4 of the coordinating glitters. And you know what? As gorgeous as these glitters are, I really wanted to play with the pastels because pastels tend to misbehave quite frequently. If you know, you know. So I really wanted to see how these pastels applied, how they laid, how they looked at the end, and you guys are going to see it all shake out. So these are the glitters right now. They're absolutely beautiful, and as mentioned, they do coordinate with the pastels. These are the pastels that I'm going to be using. This is going to be a full-blown springtime mani, which I can't even tell you how excited I am about. I am over the winter. And I know what you're thinking. Hush, Marla, you're in Florida, you don't get winter. Lies. We had 2 whole days of winter and I'm done. I'm such a brat. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to go ahead and get my nails prepped up with some peel-off base coat, and we're going to get right into it. I'm so stoked. So here we go with the colors. I've got Pink Berry. I've got Lost at Sea. I've got Citrus Blast. And last but not least, I've got Tang, which is that orange peachy shade on the end. I'm going to go with 1 color on each nail. I'm going to double up on one of the colors because I have 5 fingers and there are 4 colors. I just did the math. So I'm going in with the base. My first impression of the base, she's thick and I love it. It has almost a gel-like consistency, which I think is great, especially for beginners. If you have issues with flooding your sidewalls or your cuticle area, you would probably love this base because it stays where you put it. And can we just talk about this coverage right now? I cannot even. So since it does dry on the quicker side, because it is a thicker consistency base, which I have found pretty much across the board, the thicker the base, the quicker the dry time, usually. This dried down in literally no time, to the point where as soon as I'm done cleaning up around the cuticle area, I'm going to go right in and dust off. And I had 0 issues. This was one of the quickest manis I literally have ever done in my whole entire life, and barely any filing. If you're wondering how I'm going to encapsulate these later, it's going to be the easiest and thinnest encapsulation ever of all time. I'm not using any gel. I'm going to encapsulate with the base coat and let it dry and file over that. If you want to do more filing, if you feel like you need to, you shouldn't with these powders. They're very, very easy to work with. But if you feel like you need more filing, I would highly suggest doing a clear encapsulation so you have that buffer layer between your file and your pigment so you don't file away any of this gorgeous neon pastel color. So I realize I'm only 1 color in, but I am doing a voiceover, so I already know the outcome of this whole entire mani. It's a surprise to you. To me, I already foresee the future because I lived it. So I can tell you with 100% confidence, these pastels are the easiest pastels I've ever worked with. I don't say ever lightly, but as mentioned in the beginning of the video, pastels can misbehave. They can apply patchy, the pigment can be weird, but these were so pigmented and they applied so evenly. As you can clearly see, I'm giving you extreme close-ups here. No streakiness, no nothing. And I'm not 100% if it's just the powders or if it's the base with the powders. Whatever the magic or the sorcery is that she's doing over there at Mystic Moon Dips, I'm here for it because I am literally obsessed with these pastels, and I think that you guys will be too. So here we are, the final week of February. We're coming in clutch to springtime. Are you guys still like winter manis, or are you really trying to get into springtime stuff? Clearly you know where I stand on this. I can't wait for spring and summer manis. I am done with the doom and gloom of winter. I'm also super curious if you guys have a preference about your spring and summer colors. Do you lean more on the pastel side, or do you lean more on the very bright neon side? I can go either way, to be honest. It really just depends on my mood and what I have to work with. But I think in my heart of hearts, I'm a pastel girl, which I know is probably a little unbelievable considering my black hearts and my deep dark soul. But pastels just do something for me, and I feel like sometimes it's even skin tone dependent. With my skin tone, I just feel like pastels look better on my skin tone. So I'd be curious to see where you guys land on that. Getting in now with this third color, it's kind of like a lemon lime soda, if you will, very much Sierra Mist vibes. Not sponsored at all by Sierra Mist. But yeah, I was unsure about how this was gonna work, but as I just mentioned, pastels do something for my skin tone. So colors like this that are bright yet pastel at the same time, I feel really works with my skin tone. So I'm not mad at it, not even the slightest. And orange too. Orange has never been my friend. Ever. It's everything with like yellow undertones that really doesn't agree with me for some reason, but pastels love my skin tone. I'm a pastel girl living in a pastel world. What do I even know how to voice over today? Anyway, I should mention, because you guys might have questions, when I spoke to Kristen, the owner of Mystic Moon Dips, about these specific colors, she recommended pour over. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sure you would have no issues dipping into these powders, but she mentioned that that was the best way to apply these, so that's what I'm doing. And yes, I know I have been very forgetful in using the recycling system dip tray thing, but as I mentioned in a past video, I have like 87 million cupcake liners, so I'm just going to use them because what else am I going to do? They're just going to sit there, and we don't bake. Well, I don't bake. Becca, she's the baker of the house. That's my 14-year-old daughter, but I do not bake. No, it's not for me. If it involves flour and measuring stuff, I'm kind of out. I don't know if that's also a me thing. I like to cook, don't get me wrong, but as soon as something tells me to measure something, I'm like, no, I'm not measuring anything. I have so many sets of measuring cups and spoons and all the things too. The only thing I will measure, this is so weird, the only thing I have no problem measuring is water or like stock of some sort when I'm making rice, because you know as well as I do that if your ratios for rice are even the slightest bit off, your rice is a complete disaster. And I'm a rice girl. I love all the carbs. I really don't discriminate, but rice is kind of my thing. And if I mess up my rice, I'm not going to be happy at all. I will be grumpy pants for the rest of the night. So I will measure water, but that's about all I will measure. Probably because I don't have to wash dishes afterwards. I measure the thing, I put it on a towel to dry, and it's done. As is my mani, evidently. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to apply a coat of dip base, and I'm going to use that as my encapsulation layer, which I can do because I don't have a whole lot of filing. I will leave my filing and buffing routine down in the description box, but I can tell you that for this mani in particular, all I did was clean up my cuticle area, refine my shape, which was really fine. This dip powder did not morph my shape much at all, and I grazed over the surface of the nail with a very gentle 180 grit file. That's literally all the filing I did. No contouring required, nothing. These powders played so well. I'm so impressed with the formulation of these powders. I cannot speak highly enough about them. So I'm gonna let this base dry. And again, because it's a thicker base, the dry time is super quick, even for an overlay like this over the dip powder. I am going to activate over it, which I clicked off my camera, so I didn't film it. I was an idiot. I'm sorry about that. But I do activate after this has set down for a little bit and it was dry to the touch. If it's a little tacky, it's fine. But you don't want to contaminate your activator and start hardening up brushes and all that fun stuff. Not so fun stuff, I should say. So I am going to activate, and I went ahead, did all my filing and buffing, and here is where we are at. And I love the way this looks matte. I almost didn't want to top coat it, but I did want to try out the top coat, so we're going to. Now, top coat does require activator. Activator is what cures your base and your top, so you need that in order for your top coat to dry down glossy, right? So I'm going in with the activator, one coat covering the entire nail on each nail. I'm going to let that dry for 2 full minutes. Just going to absorb and start to prepare for the top coat. So once that is dried down, I'm going to take a lint-free wipe. You can use a paper towel, you don't have to use a lint-free wipe, and I'm going to essentially rub off any activator that might be sitting on the surface of the nail. Even if your nails appear to be dry, this step is kind of crucial. This is what's going to help prevent your top coat brush from hardening, because it is going to come in contact with the nail that has activator on it, and activator will cure top coat. So once I have that all done, we're going to get started with the top coat. So this top coat is also very thick, and I should mention that you can actually use the base as top and the top as base. These products are pretty interchangeable if you need to, but I'm going to go ahead and get this top coat started. These do have bottle stoppers inside too. That really helps with kind of regulating how much base you're getting on your brush, but you do want to wipe off a little bit. You don't want to go crazy and glob this stuff on, because it may not dry well and it can still flood your cuticles if you're putting too much on. I like just a little bead at the bottom of the brush, and it covers the entire nail. So I'm going in with 2 to 3 quick strokes across the nail, wiping off the brush in between each nail before I go back into the bottle. Again, I'm just trying to prevent contamination, and I had no issues. Nothing got contaminated, nothing bad happened. Now the top coat, I'm going to do my second coat here in a minute, but let's talk about top coat for a hot second. I'm going to preface this by saying I am not a fan of dip top coat of any variety. I do not like it. I prefer a gel top coat. I think it's a lot more user-friendly, it's less time-consuming, and there's zero contamination risk. Plus, the gloss is exponentially glossier. I just prefer the shine of a gel top coat. But she sent me dip liquid, so that's what I'm going to use. With that being said, I'm not the biggest fan of the dip top coat, only because it wasn't as glossy as I would like it to be. I don't even know if you will notice it on camera, because it does have a shine to it. It just wasn't as glossy as I prefer. But again, as I mentioned, I'm not the biggest fan of dip top coats in general. So what I decided to do, because as mentioned, I do really like this design matte. So I'm going to mattify these nails here in a little bit by just taking a buffing block, a very gentle and well-loved and used buffing block. And I'm just going to graze over all of the nails, take the shine away, and then they're going to be matte. So if you're wondering how to do a matte top coat on dip pattern nails without using gel, there you go. Do your dip top, let it dry. This did dry down super quick, less than 2 minutes. And then you just buff off the shine, and that's it. So I'm going to do just that, and I'll come back with final thoughts. So here's the finished look. I absolutely am so glad that I buffed off all the shine. I love these colors matte. I don't know what it is. Some colors, maybe it's just a me thing. Let me know if you guys have any colors where you're just like, that has to be matte. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I'm going to go ahead and hydrate my cuticles because they are looking a little bit dry and crusty. And as for final thoughts, obsessed with these Pastel Neons. I love them so much. I may actually grab the rest of the collection because there are a few colors in there that I didn't get that I would really love to play with. But you guys will have to let me know what you think. What do you think about these colors? Again, obsessed. They played so well. They applied so evenly. Absolutely loved them. Dip liquids, if you like a thicker base coat, I think you would really like this one. Activator worked perfectly. It cured very, very quickly. Top coat, meh, but again, I'm not the biggest fan of dip top coat. So you guys will have to determine whether or not that's something you want to do. But the powders, I would highly recommend the powders. I love them with my whole entire heart. Thank you again to Mystic Moon Dips. Thank you guys for spending some time with me today. Have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. Love you, bye.